Welcome back, everybody. Stranger Things season 3 review, and I literally just finished watching it, and I really don't know where to start with this. I should have left this for an hour or two to let me think about it, but I thought to myself, no, it's still quite fresh, and I've been binge watching it for the last 2 days. And I can honestly tell you, I really don't know where to begin with this. I'm going to try and avoid talking about the storyline as much because, in case there's anybody that hasn't seen this, so it's just going to be mainly about performances and all that kind of stuff. Where do I begin? Here we go. I loved Stranger Things the first season. I loved the second season, and I did wonder how they were going to top this or the last two seasons. And they nailed this. They nailed it. They really pulled out some stops. This almost had a film production kind of budget to it. Some of the special effects in here I expect to see in high budget kind of movies. To be fair, not in series. They seriously pulled out the stops here, and it worked. They nailed this. I was addicted from the moment I started watching to that last end credit post credit scene as well. It's just absolutely fantastic in every single way. The visuals in here are absolutely fantastic. The comedic factor in here is on point, which is pretty much how it spans, especially in the last two seasons. But for some reason, the comedic factor in here I found so funny in certain places. It just even in the serious moments they threw in like a comedic factor. It worked as well. It didn't spoil it. It just actually worked. Performances in here are absolutely fantastic. Namely, two performances which I'm going to get into in a moment. My favorite character in Stranger Things is Dustin because of his comedic element in this. And with the help of some others in this season, that comedic element went through the roof. And I'm telling you now, when if you've seen it, when Dustin and that are in the mall, below the mall, which I'm not going to try and talk about too much, when you got the other kids, if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm on about. That those four just in their cells just that bit was just absolutely brilliant in every single way. Going back onto the other kids, they kind of split them up a little bit on this season, which is a very nice touch. And they had their moments as well. They also had their very serious moments. And this is what I love about Stranger Things, because especially season one, season two, as soon as I start watching it, it throws me straight back to my childhood. As I'm an 80s child, some of the things that are in this season I actually really enjoyed. Also, the greatest thing about this is that most people can't actually relate to this as well growing up. You get to share their feelings and emotions. So they're kind of experiencing it for the first time, but you go, yeah, I've experienced that before. You know, been there falling in love for the first time and breaking up with somebody and all that kind of stuff. It's just so relatable, and they all these kids in here nailed every single performance in this. 11 once again in here is absolutely fantastic, but she is not relied on at the end to save the day this time, which is a absolutely fantastic touch. That being said, she does do some damage in here in certain points, and you can tell that it's just starting to take a bit more of an adult kind of feel to it compared to the first two seasons. And oh, it's so well done, honestly. But without giving away the storyline, this is going to be the toughest bit of this review. There are two main characters. There are two characters' performances in here which really stood out for me from the start. That is Hopper's and Rona Wilder's character as well. I think I said her name right. Anyway, something like that. Anyway, um, they are the two main standout performances in this season for me. I did wonder why there was so much influence on Hopper in this, and if you've seen this, you know exactly why, because of the end. They seriously upped his game, and by God, he was absolutely fucking fantastic in this season. He seriously was absolutely awesome. I cannot stress that enough. This is by far those two characters' chemistry on screen were absolutely fantastic. They were literally bouncing off each other. It was very enjoyable to watch them work together and act. They just really bonded. And it just made it for a very enjoyable touch. Once again, this part of the storyline had the very intense kind of moments, and then they threw in these comedic kind of factors which just gelled and worked together, and that's what made it for me. The his performance in here, this is my own personal opinion, and I am going to emphasize this a lot over the next minute or so, is that he is by far the best performance in this whole season. All performances in this are absolutely fantastic, but he's the one. I can never remember her character name. Rona. Those two characters are by far the best performances in this season, without a shadow of a doubt. Hopper, I'm going to mainly focus on Hopper because of how he is in this, especially towards the last. Actually, no, pretty much throughout the whole of the season. He just a tough, hard bastard. He really, really is. It's absolutely so well done. He done this. He nailed it. I know I keep going on about it, but it's just what's standing out in front of me. And I'm going to try and avoid kind of talking about him anymore, because I will give away the storyline. Also, once again, in this, I like the throwbacks to the old movies. Obviously, we had the Back to the Future theme in here, and we also slightly had a character in here that reminded me of the Terminator quite a lot. If you don't know, this has a quite strong Russian influence in this season, and that is all I'm going to give away about this season. And there is a guy in there who is an absolute badass, and when Hopper and this guy fight, they fight as well. There is no holds barred, but he just reminded me of the Terminator big time, and all that kind of stuff. You had the Back to the Future influences, and you had all the different toys, which I had some of these toys when I grew up as well. I love that kind of element side of it. Like I said, you do get the sense that as they're growing up, they're starting to introduce a more adult feel in this, because there's quite a bit more swearing in this from the children, and a bit more kind of more mature content in this. All in all, if I was to rate this, I would give this a 10 out of 10. I might do another review on it later when everybody's watched it, so I can actually talk about the storyline, because I'm quite held back because of it. I know this was more about the performances and all that kind of stuff, and how it looked and all that, but I can't actually really talk about it too much without giving it away, and it's very, very tough, because I want to talk about it, but I can't. So I'm going to have to leave it as that. So, like I said, I rate this season, I give it 1,000,000 out of 10. Easy. It's just really, really good watch. Stranger Things is a really, really good watch. I actually posted up on Facebook no more than about half an hour ago, saying it's absolutely fucking epic, and it is. And I believe that somebody commented saying that they are writing for a season 4 and season 5, which is going to be really, really interesting which direction they're going to go now, to be fair. In this, it's very, very interesting actually, because I'm not 100% sure that it will be the same after this. In fact, it won't be. It's going to be quite different. It's going to be a little. I don't know how many of you have seen the post-credit scene as well to this. It's just. I'm very intrigued to see where they go, and if I was to be honest with you, I think they're going to struggle to try and beat season 3. I think that's just my personal opinion. It's strictly because of what happened towards the end of season 3, and if you've seen it, you know exactly what I mean. It's going to be very, very interesting to see where they go. I will be watching the next season without a shadow of a doubt. I can't wait for the next season, and I just hope it's really, really soon. So, on that note, I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care, and goodbye.